We're all called Peter. We're all
Peter Parker.
Same again. We're all Peter Parker.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 roles recast with different actors.
Yeah, really.
You're me? Both of you?
Yup.
Even that one?
Yes.
For this list, we'll be looking at specific characters that have been portrayed by different actors in both television and film. We will be focusing on live action performances only, so voice acting in animated programs will not be included. What was your favorite recast of a famous character? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Daredevil / Matt Murdock. Fun fact, long before the MCU was even a thing, Matt Murdock / Daredevil was seen in the trial of the Incredible Hulk.
This time, we finish the job. See what I mean?
No, I don't see it all.
Rex Smith played the blind hero in that 1989 TV movie, but it wasn't until 2003 that Marvel put out a Daredevil standalone movie starring Ben Affleck. The film didn't exactly score huge audiences and generally received negative reviews. The streaming series did, however, find some success with Charlie Cox taking the reins over from Affleck. He was last seen in Spider-Man: No Way Home as Peter's lawyer.
How did you just do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
With Cox's version officially in the MCU, we're likely to see more of him in the future. Number 19, The Oracle.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it.
In order for Neo to figure out he really was the one, he had to be told otherwise by the Oracle. Originally played by Gloria Foster in the first two films, she was replaced in the third outing by Mary Alice. The former having passed away between the making of the two sequels, the way the movie handled it was very unique. Often when an actor is replaced, no one within canon acknowledges the person looks different. Matrix Revolutions addressed this directly within the film by using a plot device to explain away the differences in a way that didn't feel contrived.
I'm sorry I couldn't be sitting here like you remember me. But it wasn't meant to be.
What happened?
I made a choice, and that choice cost me more than I wanted it to.
Number 18, Wonder Woman / Diana Prince.
Only love can truly save the world. So I stay, I fight, and I give.
If you're from the DCEU generation, the only person you might know as Wonder Woman would be Gal Gadot. But long before she defended the Amazonians, Linda Carter was well known as the titular hero. Portraying the character for 3 seasons, this lasso-carrying heroine captured the bad guys every week on the Wonder Woman TV show.
You helped me out and I appreciate it. You're everything my father said you were.
Thank you, Steve. And if you ever need me, I'll appear, wherever or whenever.
Even before that, Kathy Lee Crosby took a stab at it in a made-for-TV movie also called Wonder Woman. Audiences almost got a new show featuring the Orville's Adrienne Palicki as the female protagonist in 2011, but NBC declined to pick up the series. Number 17, Rooster Cogburn. In 1968, Charles Portis released his novel True Grit, which told the story of the death of a woman's father. The book was released as a film a year later, starring Western classic actor John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn.
You're too old and too fat to be jumping horses.
Well, come to see a fat old man sometime.
Wayne received both an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for his portrayal. More than 40 years later, the Coen brothers remade the film, placing Jeff Bridges in the lead role.
You think 1 on 4 is a dog, Paul?
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned. Or see you hanged in Fort Smith at Judge Parker's convenience.
Given how remakes are often a shell in comparison to the original, both Bridges' take on Rooster and the movie itself received more than their share of favorable reviews. Number 16. James T. Kirk. No one person is more synonymous with Captain Kirk than William Shatner. Much like Leonard Nimoy's Spock, Shatner will always be remembered as James Tiberius Kirk.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
But there are other actors who have taken on this role. Chris Pine notably took over for Shatner with the 3 more recent Kelvin Timeline Star Trek films and is slated for another one.
I'm coming with you. I would cite regulation, but I know you will simply ignore it. See? We are getting to know each other.
Jimmy Bennett played a younger version of Kirk in 2009 Star Trek, albeit for only a few minutes. The most recent casting of this character is for the new Paramount Plus show Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Paul Wesley is set to join the show in Season 2. Number 15. Magneto/Eric Lensher. When the first X-Men film came out, audiences were treated to classically trained actor Ian McKellen, portraying the role of Magneto, aka Eric Lensher. Fans quickly got used to seeing him as this character, as he returned for the 2 follow-up films.
The war has begun.
But when 20th Century Fox decided to move their X-Men films into prequel territory, almost the entire group had to be recast. Fans were given a treat when Michael Fassbender took on the role and stayed with it until the franchise ended in 2019's Dark Phoenix.
Long time ago, you saved my life. Then you offered me home. I'd like to do the same for you.
Given how the X-Men are likely to show up in the MCU's future, we're dying to see who the next Magneto will be. Number 14. Norman Bates. There's very little argument to be made about the theatrical impact of Alfred Hitchcock's original Psycho. Considered one of his best films, the lead character of Norman Bates was played to perfection by the late Anthony Perkins.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
His portrayal would continue for the 3 follow-up films, including the 1991 made-for-TV film Psycho 4: The Beginning. In this movie, we got a younger version of Bates portrayed by E.T. alum Henry Thomas. Perhaps the most memorable modern version of this character appeared in the TV series Bates Motel, where the good doctors Freddie Highmore chilled audiences for 5 seasons as Bates.
What's important is that we're together. You know, as long as we're together, then nothing bad can really happen. Right, Norman?
Right, Mother.
Vince Vaughn also took a turn as Bates in the 1998 remake, but most would rather forget that. Number 13. The Mummy. If you were to ask someone if they had seen the movie The Mummy, odds are they'd probably think you're referring to the Brendan Fraser version released in 1999.
Oh, I got it! Kadishmal, Kadishmal. Paradus, Paradus.
Then played by Arnold Vosloo, it's a role that actually has been played quite a few times prior to that. The original was portrayed by Boris Karloff all the way back in 1932. From there, Tom Tyler, Lon Chaney Jr., and Eddie Parker would all play iterations of this character before it would resurface again at the end of the 1990s. Fraser's trilogy would finish off with Jet Li in the role.
Enough tricks! Where's your honor? Fight like a man!
Finally, Universal tried to reboot the franchise again in 2017 with Sofia Boutella as Princess Amunet, but the film saw very little success. Number 12. The Hulk / Bruce Banner. If you're a fan of The Incredible Hulk, Which actor comes to mind when you think of his live-action persona?
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
Similar to some of our other entries, your answer may depend on either how old you are or how much you've read about the character's history. In the realm of theatrical film, Bruce Banner and the Hulk have been played by 3 different actors: Eric Bana, Edward Norton, and Mark Ruffalo. But it doesn't end there. Bill Bixby played Bruce Banner to Lou Ferrigno's Hulk in the Incredible Hulk television show and TV movies.
I use gamma radiation to release him, but I used too much. Far too much. Now the beast is out of my control, emerging whenever anger strikes.
The latter also appeared in cameos for multiple Hulk films. Number 11. Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan has been a staple character of Tom Clancy novels since first appearing in The Hunt for Red October. This CIA agent has been portrayed in both film and television by 5 different actors. Alec Baldwin took on the role in the 1990 adaptation of the previously mentioned October film, but was replaced by Harrison Ford for the next 2 movies.
What are you offering? A trade. Felix Cortez has sold you out. His next move is to murder you, your family, and to take over the cartel.
Ben Affleck and Chris Pine both took a turn at the character in 2002 and 2014 respectively. No new film projects featuring Clancy's character have been seen since. However, John Krasinski does play him in the television series Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime.
6 Swift transactions have come through in the last 8 days. They total over $9 million. Of all the other accounts that I've been monitoring, only 2 have ever gone above 6 figures, and barely.
Number 10. Hannibal Lecter. Thanks to the portrayal by Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter became one of the most feared on-screen characters in film history.
You use Evian skin cream. And sometimes you wear out lead at home. But not today.
When Silence of the Lambs came out, it won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Hopkins would revisit this character in 2 additional films. Interestingly enough, however, Hopkins wasn't the first, nor the last actor to play this role. Brian Cox originally portrayed Lecter in 1986's Manhunter, and audiences got a view into Lecter's younger self when Gaspar Ulliel took on the role. Neither were huge successes, but Mads Mikkelsen's version in the Hannibal TV show gave audiences the creeps for 3 whole seasons.
I was rooting for you, Will. It's a shame. You came all this way and you didn't get to kill anybody.
Number 9. Albus Dumbledore. Similar to The Matrix, this is one that originally forced a recast simply due to unfortunate circumstances. The original actor, Richard Harris, can be seen in the first 2 Harry Potter films as the headmaster of Hogwarts. After passing away, Michael Gambon took on the role for the remainder of the Harry Potter films.
Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy. But remember this. You have friends here.
Of course, when Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald was announced, a younger version of Dumbledore was set to appear and would be portrayed by Jude Law. It's no secret that Law is a classy Dumbledore.
Do you know why I admire you, Newt?
What?
More perhaps than any man I know. You do not seek power or popularity.
Number 8. Spider-Man / Peter Parker.
You know, it's what we do.
Yeah, it's what we do. Right, I gotta find Ned and MJ. Thank you.
Given the release of Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021, it would seem like this entry is an easy one. First, we had Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield, and finally Tom Holland. All have played the character beautifully in their own unique styles. Yet we would be remiss if we didn't include two other actors who have in fact played the role in live-action performances. Nicholas Hammond played the hero for 13 episodes in the late 1970s TV show The Amazing Spider-Man. And of course, we can't forget Shinji Todo, who also donned the web costume in 41 episodes of the Japanese Spider-Man around the same time as Hammond's version played out in the US.
鉄人一団の最大の敵が出現した。どんとこい鉄十字団。俺は戦うぞ。命ある限り。
Number 7. Sherlock Holmes. According to the Guinness World Records, Sherlock Holmes holds the distinction of being the most portrayed literary human character in film and television.
Who are you? What do you do?
What do you think?
I'd say private detective.
But?
But the police don't go to private detectives.
I'm a consulting detective. The only one in the world that invented the job.
As of the 2012 record, the character has been portrayed 254 times. Even a top 20 list wouldn't come close to listing off all the actors who have resided at 221B Baker Street. More recent portrayals of the detective include the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, and Henry Cavill. But the distinction of having played him the most goes to Basil Rathbone. He appeared in 16 different films as the character between 1939 and 1946.
But what's the connection between Lillian Gentry's disappearance and the death of Lady Penrose?
Lillian Gentry and Lady Penrose are one and the same person.
The same person?
Precisely.
Number 6. Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula was originally released in 1897, and within that time, countless iterations of the character have appeared on film and television. Much like some of our previous entries, the sheer number of actors who've taken on this role is far too long to list out.
Count Dracula? I am Dracula.
And I bid you welcome, Mr. Harcourt, to my house.
Some of them you'd recognize immediately. Bela Lugosi was well known for his Dracula, as was Christopher Lee and Gary Oldman. More recent versions have been seen from Christian Camargo, Luke Evans, and Thomas Kretschmann. Oh, and we can't forget Leslie Nielsen's slapstick take in Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Your eyelids are getting heavy. You feel that... Renfield, you fell asleep too soon. I have more to tell you.
Number 5. Macbeth. The story was written more than 400 years ago, and yet people are still dying, pardon the pun, to portray this famous Shakespearean character.
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house gloms that murdered sleep, and therefore Cordo shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
It's virtually impossible to list off every actor who's filled these shoes, given how many stage productions of Macbeth have existed. But in film and television, there are some pretty notable actors who've taken him on. Orson Welles famously appeared as Macbeth in the first non-silent film back in 1948.
Lay on, Macduff. And damn be him that first cries. Hold enough.
Other memorable performances include Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, Michael Fassbender, Sam Worthington, and even Denzel Washington. Given the timelessness of the story, we have no doubt this is one character that will be seen again and again. Number 4. Batman / Bruce Wayne.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Adam West, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, George Clooney, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson are among the more well-known actors who have portrayed the Dark Knight.
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
Thanks to various television projects and early serials, there's a few names who have donned the cowl you may not recognize. Lewis Wilson and Robert Lowry both were Batman before West took on the role. In the Fox show Gotham, both David Mazouz and Mikhail Mudrik portrayed versions of a young Batman. While Ian Glenn took on the role of the Caped Crusader on Titans, longtime fans of the animated Batman series finally got to see voice actor Kevin Conroy portray Bruce Wayne during the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event.
Reign of Terror?
It's like a wise man once said, battle not with monsters, lest you become a monster.
Number 3. The Doctor. Doctor Who's recasting has become part of the show's mythos. By incorporating the concept of regeneration, the show has easily transitioned from one actor to another.
Time Lords have this little trick. It's sort of a way of cheating death. Except it means I'm gonna change.
Starting with William Hartnell back in 1963, the show cycled through 6 other actors before the show went off the air in 1989. Paul McGann briefly appeared in 1996 when a revival of the show was attempted. Another attempt gave us Christopher Eccleston for 1 season, until the show finally came back in 2005 with David Tennant becoming the 10th Doctor.
Look at you, teeth. That's weird. So where was I? Oh, that's right. Barcelona.
Since then, fans have had the pleasure of experiencing Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and Jodie Whittaker's takes on this iconic role. Number 2. The Joker. The moment a new actor takes on the role of a character previously occupied by someone else, it sparks a debate among fans as to who is the better version. Batman's nemesis Joker is no exception.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police.
Originally portrayed by Cesar Romero in the 60s classic TV show, Joker appeared on screen again when Jack Nicholson donned the white makeup in 1989's Batman. No one would have thought he could be topped until Heath Ledger did the impossible, giving us an Oscar-winning performance in The Dark Knight.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me.
Joaquin Phoenix also won an Academy Award for his take on the character in 2019's Joker. Jared Leto, Barry Keoghan, and Cameron Monaghan have given us variations of the character.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. James Bond. Introduced in 1952 by novelist Ian Fleming, James Bond has become synonymous with the spy genre. Sean Connery is often credited as being the first actor to portray the British spy, but that title actually goes to Barry Nelson. He portrayed Bond in an episode of the anthology series Climax, which aired on television in 1954. Connery earned his 007 status with 1962's Dr. No.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
6 other actors have since slipped into Bond's shoes, including Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and Pierce Brosnan. The most recent Bond, played by Daniel Craig, holds the distinction for having portrayed the character for the longest. It's also notable that M has been recast more than Bond himself.
Very good, sir. 007? Sir? I don't know what you're playing at, but whatever it is, it has to stop.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.